Okay, so this is the third part of the dossier review, and these are just going over the last couple of sections in the Excel sheet. That is the dossier. So these parts are 3.2, point P, point 2, point 1, point 1, point 1.2, and point 2.2 are talking about the drug substance. So the drug substance in the first part is talking about compatibility. So this is about the compatibility of the drug substance that you are working with. And they're going to be looking at key characteristics that are part of that drug product. So that's like the water content, solubility, are things that they list. They also talk about particle size. So these are all characteristics in the specific drug substance that can influence the performance of the drug product that you are submitting to the World Health Organization. And it's just something that they want you to discuss further in this section of the dossier. There is a part about excipients. So that is an inactive substance that is a medium for your drug or or your drug product or another active part of your drug product. So in this part, they're just want you to list all of those mediums or like the things that serve as a vehicle for your drug product, such as their concentration, how their characteristics, as previously mentioned, you have to tell them about the drug substance compatibility characteristics. So here they want to know how the excipients characteristics are going to contribute to the drug product performance and how their function is going to change how your drug product comes about. Um, the next part is just the drug product. They're asking you again for the name and the dosage form. And then moving on, they want more information on the formulation development. So this part of the dossier is going to be a brief summary, and that's going to describe the development of the drug product. It's going to look at the route of administration and usage for your specific drug. So in this case, it would be a vaccine. So how would you administer this drug? How would it be used? It also wants you to, in the summary, differentiate between the clinical formula and the formula that you have described in like a previous more like rough phase. So it's going to just look at the different forms of composition and how your drug product has evolved. And it's also just going to look at different studies. So here you're going to yet again tell them more about studies that you have done in relation to your drug, how you have tested it in either a lab setting or if you've tested it with in a clinical setting. So they're going to be looking for that comparison in this summary. The next part is overages. So this part is slightly smaller. It's just telling you about any surplus in the formulations that you described in your summary, just to make sure that everything is kind of up to code. This other part is about psychochemical and biological properties. So this one's a little longer. It talks about the performance of your drug product with specific things. So they're looking at pH, ionic strength. They're looking again at particle sizes. So they were looking in the brief summary. They're going to be looking at biological activity or immunological activity, especially if you're working with vaccines. And all of this has to be addressed in this part. And the last part in this slide is the container closure system. So previously, I also talked about containers. So this is something that's very important in the World Health Organization dossier. And this is yet another part where they're looking over the container closure system. And here the focus is very much on storage, transportation, so the shipping of this particular product, and how the use of this product is going to be discussed in the specific areas that it's going to be used. So there in this part, you're going to be talking about choice of materials for the closure system, the construction of the dosage, the closure system, how you are going to be able to get accurate dosage from whichever containers you're taking it with, the safety of the materials, along with the performance of the materials, because each different drug product is going to have different things that it's going to need as you are transporting it or using it for different things. So this part just goes over it again. With just a deeper focus on storage and transport. This part talks about the microbiological attributes. So this section is a little longer. This is only where appropriate. So it just talks about microbiological attributes, sterilization of the microbiological attributes. So It's going to talk about how the dosage has to be discussed in relation to what attributes are in your drug product, the limits in microbial products that are used in the drug product, along with any non-sterile products that are being used in the specific drug product has to be discussed here. And then the compatibility is, the compatibility of your drug product with reconstitution, diluents, dosage devices. So whatever dosage device you're using, in this case of a vaccine, is probably going to be a syringe. So just the compatibility of your specific drug product with the syringe or different injection vessels, whichever way you're going to do it. They're also going to talk again about stability of your drug product in regards to this compatibility. And for this last slide, they once again bring up manufacture. Manufacture is something that is very important. I think it's like come up like 3 different times in the dossier. So they talk again about manufacture with a little bit more focus on different things. So they are yet again asking for the name, address, and responsibility of different manufacturers. If you're using more than one manufacturer, they want like each of them to be listed, each of them to have all of this information. This includes contractors or each different facility that you're using to manufacture. They're going to need different name, addresses, and responsibilities. Then there is the batch formula. So the batch formula is your initial, just like how you're doing it in batches. So it's going to be like X amount of vaccines or drug products that are created. So for this batch formula, you have to include a component of all of the dosage forms that are being used in the manufacturing process, the amount of drug product that is in each batch, including any of the overages that were discussed in a previous slide. So these are all of the surplus. And there also has to be a reference to each batch's quality standard in this specific part of the dossier. And then the last part is the description of manufacturing process, and they also focus on process controls. So this part is actually, they recommend that you do it in a flow diagram to just give all of the steps of the process, showing when different materials enter the process, when different materials are supposed to exit the process. They want critical steps and points to be highlighted. So at which times controls come in, intermediate tests, when the final product is tested for controls and for viability. So along with the flow diagram, you also want a narrative description, so kind of like a paragraph explaining everything that you show in the flow diagram. But in this part, you're also going to be including what specific processes you're using. Are they new? Are they old? Like, are they known? It's also going to be looking at technology that you're using for this manufacturing process, along with how the packaging operation interlaces with the drug product operation for all of the drug products. And that is the end.